You've seen the pictures. Sunlit markets, ocean views, smiling couples, sipping wine in quaint villages. Retiring abroad looks like a permanent vacation. But behind every Instagram perfect post, there's a quieter truth, one that most people don't talk about until it's too late. This video isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to prepare you. Because the dark side of expat life after 60 doesn't show up in travel blogs. It shows up in quiet nights when the phone doesn't ring, in pharmacies where the labels don't make sense, in visa offices that say, "Come back next month." Retiring abroad can be beautiful, freeing even, but only if you know what's really waiting on the other side of that plane ticket. Today, we'll uncover the 6 harsh truths most expats discover too late. The kind of truths that don't just cost money, they cost connection, comfort, and peace of mind. Let's talk about what no one warns you about. Number 1. The illusion of endless vacation. At first, everything feels magical. You sip coffee in a plaza you once only saw in magazines. The markets are vibrant, the pace slower, the sunsets more golden than you imagined. But then, it starts to fade. Because even paradise becomes ordinary when it's your everyday. The long walks turn routine. The beach stops being a treat and becomes the background of your loneliness. And slowly, what once felt like a dream starts to feel a little empty. Many retirees go abroad thinking they're stepping into a permanent vacation. But vacations end for a reason. They're breaks from routine, not the new routine itself. Without structure, purpose, or meaningful engagement, even the most beautiful place can feel hollow. Days blend together. The excitement gives way to restlessness. And if you're not careful, the freedom becomes a trap. The hardest part? Admitting it. Because no one wants to say out loud, "I'm bored in paradise." But you're not alone, and you're not stuck. It starts by recognizing it. Number 2. Isolation behind the palm trees. Retirement abroad promises peace, beauty, and escape from the chaos. But what happens when the silence becomes too loud? At first, the quiet feels luxurious. No more city traffic, no obligations, no one knocking on your door. But then, the days stretch longer. You realize you haven't spoken to anyone in person for days, not in a real, meaningful way. Loneliness is the ghost that haunts many retirees abroad. You've left behind more than just a country. You've left your community, your routine, your sense of being known. Even in popular expat towns, relationships can feel transactional or surface level. Everyone's passing through, everyone's starting over. Locals may be kind but closed. Cultural differences, language gaps, and unspoken rules can create invisible walls. And when family milestones happen, a grandchild's birthday, a loved one's illness, you're not there. You're watching from a screen. The result? A deep ache no ocean breeze can cure. If you're not intentional about building connection, the palm trees will start to feel like prison bars. Number 3. Culture shock isn't just a phase. Everyone expects a little culture shock when moving abroad. A few funny misunderstandings, a bit of adjustment, then smooth sailing. Right? Not quite. For many retirees, culture shock isn't a temporary hurdle. It's a lingering, daily undercurrent. It's realizing the humor you've used your whole life doesn't translate. It's wondering why the bank closes early on Thursdays, or why your polite smile gets misread as awkwardness. Even simple errands can feel exhausting. Buying medication turns into a guessing game. Filling out forms in an unfamiliar language becomes a source of anxiety. And trying to resolve a bureaucratic issue? It can take weeks, and all your patience. These aren't just inconveniences. Over time, they erode your confidence and sense of belonging. You start to feel like a permanent outsider in a place you hoped would feel like home. The hardest part? You can't fix it with a phrasebook. Adapting takes humility, curiosity, and more time than most people admit. But acknowledging it is the first step to overcoming it. Number 4. Surprise financial stress. You did the math. You budgeted. You compared cost of living charts and watched all the Live Like Royalty Abroad videos. But then, reality hit. That $500 rental? Now it's $750. The currency dipped. Inflation surged. The cheap paradise isn't so cheap anymore. And your retirement income didn't get the memo. Many retirees underestimate how unpredictable expenses can be overseas. Hidden costs creep in. Visa renewals, surprise medical bills, inflated foreigner prices. Even everyday items like utilities or imported food can quietly drain your budget. And let's not forget fees, bank transfers, currency exchange losses, international health insurance. These nibble at your savings month after month. Worse, financial systems aren't always as streamlined. Opening a local account might require paperwork, a translator, and weeks of follow-up. It's not about living in fear. It's about dropping the fantasy. Retiring abroad takes flexible planning, emergency funds, and ongoing awareness. Because paradise on paper doesn't always translate into peace of mind in real life. Number 5. Healthcare isn't what you think. One of the biggest selling points of retiring abroad? Affordable healthcare. And yes, in many countries, doctor visits and prescriptions cost far less. But cost isn't the only factor that matters when your health is on the line. What happens when the nearest well-equipped hospital is hours away? When ambulance services are slow or unreliable? When the specialist you need only speaks the local language and there's no translator? Retirees often underestimate how fragile the healthcare system can feel when you're unfamiliar with it. The rules, the expectations, the paperwork, all of it can be overwhelming in a moment of crisis. And then there are the long-term needs. What if you require regular physical therapy? What if dementia care becomes necessary? What if your spouse passes and you're left managing it all alone? These aren't pleasant questions, but they're essential. Before you pack your bags, research beyond the cost. Look at access, infrastructure, emergency care, and continuity. Because saving money is great, but saving your life matters more. Number 6. Legal headaches and visa roulette. You may feel settled in your new country, but the law sees you as a guest, and guests can be asked to leave. Visa policies change. Overnight, that easy retirement visa you secured 2 years ago? It might now require double the income proof or stricter renewals. One missed update or paperwork delay, and you're suddenly in violation, fined, banned, or deported. It's not just visas. Property ownership laws can be a minefield. In some countries, foreigners can't own land outright. Others require a local partner, exposing you to risk. And if something happens to you, your spouse or kids might face a legal mess just trying to claim what's rightfully theirs. Then there's the tax maze. Some expats are shocked to find themselves taxed twice, once at home and again abroad. Dual taxation treaties exist, but they're complicated, and local accountants don't always know how to help. Living abroad isn't just a lifestyle choice. It's a legal contract, and one small oversight can unravel everything you've built. Plan wisely, read the fine print, or pay dearly later. Number 7. Relationships strain far from home. Retirement abroad promises romance, reconnection, and shared adventure. But for many couples, the dream slowly turns into pressure. Without jobs, commutes, or outside routines, you're suddenly together all the time. At first, it's cozy. Then it's a little too close. Small annoyances grow. Differences in how each partner adjusts, one thriving, the other struggling, can breed resentment in silence. And for singles, the challenge is even tougher. Expats often form tight circles that are hard to break into. Locals may be kind but distant. Cultural norms around age, dating, or friendship can make forming new bonds feel frustratingly slow. Meanwhile, the people you left behind? Life moves on. Friends stop calling. Time zones don't help. Slowly, the distance grows. Not just physical, but emotional. Retiring abroad changes your environment and your relationships. Some deepen, others dissolve. The key? Intentional connection. Schedule alone time, talk honestly, pursue your own hobbies, and reach out often, both near and far. Because love and friendship need space, even in paradise. Number 8. What to do before you move. The dream of retiring abroad is powerful, but dreams only work when they're backed by preparation. Before you book that one-way ticket, dig deeper than beach photos and real estate listings. Research the country's healthcare infrastructure. Can you access specialists, emergency services, long-term care? Then look into the legal side, visa requirements, tax obligations, property laws, inheritance rights. Talk to professionals, not just people in Facebook groups. What works for one expat might not work for you. Financially, leave room for surprises. Exchange rate shifts, inflation, hidden fees. They happen. Build a cushion. Have a backup plan. And most importantly, don't wait to build your community until after you arrive. Join local expat forums, attend virtual meetups, follow area groups online. Relationships take time, and starting early makes your transition softer. Yes, the sunsets might be stunning, but real life will still happen. Homesickness, medical bills, bureaucracy. Know the beauty, but know the cost. Because when the glow fades, preparation is what keeps your paradise from falling apart. Retiring abroad isn't a permanent vacation. It's a brave, beautiful leap into the unknown. And like any leap, it comes with risk. The palm trees and sunsets? Real. But so are the paperwork, the isolation, the medical curveballs, and the moments of doubt that creep in at 2 a.m. when you feel a world away from everything you once knew. This video wasn't meant to scare you. It was meant to prepare you, honestly, lovingly, and without sugarcoating. Because the best adventures begin when you know the road ahead. So dream big, retire boldly, but do it with open eyes and an anchored heart. And if this gave you something to think about, share it with someone planning their next chapter. Subscribe for more truth-filled insights. Because the more you know, the freer you become.